Welcome back, everybody. So earlier this week we made a video on 5 things that I love about the MK8 GTI. This week, I guess it's still the same week, so this video we are going over things that I don't like about the MK8 GTI. I thought 5 was a little limiting. Not that there's a whole lot, just the fact that it's kind of broad and it'll make sense as the video goes on. But let's get started. Also, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, like, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I just noticed earlier this week that we are over 100 subscribers. So thank you all for that. And like and comment. I respond to all my comments in the comment section below. If there's something you think I missed, if there's something you would like me to go over, by all means, drop it down below and I will make a video on it, or I will highlight it in a video and we can go over it then. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna start the video off probably with my biggest pet peeve so far of this car is what, your $33,000 for the car. And this is just for the base model, but it goes across all the GTIs and I believe the Golf R as well, is that there's no actual hydraulic hood strut like on the previous generations. So my wife's Mark 7, my Mark 6, they all had hydraulic hood struts. But the hood on this is kind of heavy, so having that extra little bit of oomph opening it is nice. And then for a hood strut, usually they kind of stay out of the way while you are, you know, doing what you're doing, whatever that may be, checking your oil and coolant, you know, just typical, like, you stop at a gas station, you're on a road trip, it's what you do. Or if you're, you know, pulling the motor out because you blew the motor, ran it low on oil, I don't know. Whatever it is you do in your engine bay, that's your business. All right, so with that one being out of the way, there is another thing that's kind of interesting. So the whole deal is that everything is in the infotainment system. And it allows you to access like 90% of it while you're driving. But if I wanted to, say, make a phone call, I can't go into my contacts in the infotainment system, and I'll show you. I'll put it in the video here. But I cannot go into my contacts while driving. Which, I mean, makes sense, but at the same time, like, it allows you to do almost everything else except for that. So that's just kind of interesting to me. I'll go ahead and show that here as I come to a stop. I'll pull up my contacts and we will drive and it'll shut it off. Like, it automatically just grays everything out and doesn't let you touch anything. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm on an empty road where there's not a lot of people. Somebody is actually behind me now that I say that. So I'm trying not to get that top phone number in there for privacy purposes, obviously. But as you can see, that the keyboard is grayed out, and I'll come to a stop here in a second. And then it lights up, and now you can touch it, you can do whatever you want. Like, I can just start typing, and the second I'll start to drive, it'll go off. Any day now, this light will turn green, and then we can go. See? It just shuts it off. Okay, so playing off of kind of the whole contacts thing, and using the phone and typing things in is the voice command system. So I can press the button on the steering wheel all day long and it won't pull anything up. I'll get you a shot of it over here. So you can push your voice control just like that, nothing happens. You can hold it. If your mobile device supports operation, you can use it via Bluetooth. And I think that that's kind of funny because the Audi would do it with just Bluetooth, but I think I haven't gone this far into it just because it's kind of been annoying and I didn't want to play with it. If I go into Apple CarPlay, sorry, USB is not supported. Well, that sucks for you. Make it supported. Let's see. And of course, Apple CarPlay is not going to work right now. So that's another thing. Apple CarPlay is kind of intermittent. It doesn't always want to work. And so you're kind of just stuck at the mercy of what decides to work that day as far as Apple CarPlay and the voice control. So if that's a big deal for you, if you're on the phone a lot and you need access to like contacts and calling people, and like say you do a lot of business that requires you to be on a conference call, then I probably wouldn't love the infotainment system in this for that. For me, for a daily driver, it's okay, but for somebody else, I could see it being an issue. Just backing up real quick. The lack of plastics, and this is gonna sound funny, but the lack of plastics or covers in the vehicle. So like the whole engine cover deal, them catching on fire, that's awesome that they removed all of them and all, but they should have come up with more of a solution and not just like take them off the car. I mean, once again, you're spending $33,000 for a base model brand new car, and just like little things like that. Or like in the hatch, there's a spot for a safety triangle for European models because that's required over there. You don't get the triangle, which is fine, but they should have covered it. It kind of just looks out of place. It's just an open hole in the hatch. So not really a lovely thing to look at. Other than that, I think those are really the only two like missing pieces I can think of, at least from what I have seen in the car so far. And I am currently at, let's take a look at mileage. I'm at 2,300 miles. I drive quite a bit for work. I drive like 60, 70 miles a day for work. And so I put miles on pretty quick. It's about time for my first oil change. Unless you're Volkswagen, then it's every 10,000 miles. Then the last thing that I can think of that I really don't like about the GTI isn't really the GTI's problem. It's an aftermarket problem, or the lack thereof. I mean, in America, in the States anyways, the car's been out for the better part of a year. Overseas, I believe the MK8 has been out for about 2 years now. And there's not really a whole lot that's been developed. There's a couple things. I mean, obviously, like a suspension kit. Guy's about to pull out in front of me. So there's suspension kits out there. Like, I think there's a couple coilover kits. There's lowering springs. There's exhausts. There's a really expensive Venturi intake. But I think that that's pretty much it. Like, there's a couple aesthetic things, but as far as tunes go, not much has been developed. There's like a JB4 piggyback module that you can use, and I've seen good results on that from YouTube, but I would like to see, hopefully soon, just a tune for like a stage 1 to start with, a stage 1 tune. Like IE does really good tunes. APR, I think I've mentioned before, is working on a tune. It's like 301 brake horsepower for the Mark 8 that will retain Volkswagen's factory warranty, which is really cool. It's about the first I've ever heard of that, or of a company doing that. But that's really kind of where it's at. There's a weird limbo. You can get some things, but other stuff is still in development, which is understandable, but it just sucks. I think that's about all I can think of. I put notes in my phone so I could remember what I had thought of, because it was oddly specific things. That's where this video is going to end off. Sorry for dragging it on a little bit. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you're interested in a Mark 8, they're awesome cars. I love it. These are just a couple of things that are less than ideal, but if you can live with them, the car is amazing. So with that being said, I will catch you guys next time. Thank you all for sticking around for the video, and come back next week for another video or two. Peace.